guys, welcome back to an episode of 12-Inch Figure Fanatic. Today we're going to open up Dark Toys Beverly Hills Cop 2. This figure just came out recently, and there's been a few customs floating around over the years, but this is the first one that is mass produced. So let's crack her open and see what we got here. All right, so obviously Beverly Hills Cop 2, classic films of the 1980s. I understand that he's doing a reboot of that saga. So the box itself is nicely decorated. It actually reminds me of the backdrop in Scarface. So it's magnetic closure on the side here. So a pretty nice box overall. Let's take a look at the figure here. All right, so head sculpt, lacking. Looks a little cartoonish. The expression, they had, good intentions, obviously, but even from the side, it doesn't really look like him. Yeah, just kind of lacking. Now let's take a look at the rest of him. So it looks like, yeah, this is going to be a cheap pleather material that I know is going to crack over time. I already know. The jacket itself, I mean, even the head sculpt even rises too far above the body. Look how tall the neck is on this thing. Just a mess. Anyways, the jacket is lined appropriately. Got the Mumford Phys Ed department. It's supposed to be Phys Ed. So they put the period in the wrong place. There's just too many things going wrong with this figure already. Okay. The detailing on the jacket is nice enough. They got the print pattern on here, the print pattern on the back here, and on the other arm as well. And it looks like, even though there's a button appearance here, it doesn't actually button. There is a belt on underneath. Next thing is the jeans. As we know from watching the films, he had some pretty tight jeans. The color is appropriate, but they're way too loose. They should be fitting more like this, all right? So if you're putting this figure on display, you're gonna have to pin this back to make it look appropriate. Not quite skinny jeans, but still they're supposed to be skinnier than they actually are here. So, the shoes, they have weathered, decent sculpt. The weathering just seems kind of random, kind of messy. No sock on underneath, and it's a very skinny leg. Now, he'll be standing. Some figures you want to be very critical of this just because you might have them sitting, which would raise the pant leg up and expose the ankle. And in this case, you definitely wouldn't want to do that because it looks like a peg. No weathering underneath. Slight weathering, I'd say. Yeah. The hands, the sculpt itself is decent. And it doesn't look like they're weathered too much. And as a matter of fact, it looks like there's some errors with the mold right here in between the thumb and the index finger. Oh boy. Well, let's see what else we got. Maybe they're gonna throw some nice figures to make up for this disaster of a figure. And let's see. We got another head sculpt. Let's see, is this one gonna be better? Not at all. Oh my God. This looks like the donkey from Shrek. This is terrible. I can't do anything with this. I think they're just kind of sticking it to their customers. Okay. Can't go wrong with the accessories, hopefully. So they got some handcuffs. They are working. They are made of plastic, so that's one shortcut. The chain itself is made of metal. But these days I tend to see handcuffs with real metal cuffs as well. This one took kind of a shortcut. We got the badge here. Detroit Police. Okay, so this isn't bad. This is decent. Even the stitching on this is decent. I've seen some in the past figure makers, they tend to rush through the stitching on these things and it just looks like a mess. And it closes pretty easily as well. Looks like we got some bills, and they look detailed enough. Looks like a generous stack in there. And don't know what this is. This might be some pins to put on the jacket. I'd have to see the film. Have his handgun. Slide does work. Oops. And does the magazine come out? Yep, magazine comes out. There's a round in there painted. No weathering on it, but the sculpt itself is pretty good. We've got a watch. There's a gloss on top of the print. You could do pretty easy readout there. It's nice detailing on that. Got some sunglasses. And those are translucent. Some extra hands. Interesting. This is like smoking a blunt hand posturing. And this is very interesting. The sculpt is above average, I'd say. I mean, you could even get the texture of the skin in there, the veins. They just didn't paint it as well as they could have. And we have the stand. And it says Cop 2. It doesn't have his name on there, which I'll have to fix. I'm not going to display it with it saying Cop 2. That's stupid. And there's also no print of the logo of the film, so you can't tell it's Beverly Hills Cop. Sure, if you look at this, you know films well enough, you see, okay, I know which film that belongs to. But if they're going to have this, I mean, I imagine it's a licensing thing. But then again, if you look at the box, they use the logo on the box. So I don't know. But I'm glad they included the base. Well, let me put this figure together and we'll give final thoughts here. All right, so here's the figure on display. I posed him just like he is in the movie posters. Some things to note. So I got the watch on. It was a little tight squeeze to get it into the clasp. But once you get it through the first one, you can't loop it around to hug the band on the second one. There's not enough space. So it just kind of sticks out like that unless you want to glue it down, which I'll probably do. The stickers were the pins. I looked at some reference photos on the internet and I put them on just like they look in the film. The nice thing about them is they're metallic foil. So they stick on well. They're metallic, so they have a shine to them. That's good. And I'd say as you know, posed like this, you can't really tell how baggy the jeans are. They do still look a little too loose. But there's nothing that you can do about that head sculpt, and it's just lacking. Besides the neck being long, it's almost like maybe the eyes are too small. There's not enough depth to the skin. The skin could probably be a little bit darker. And then, my God, that one. Yeah, I would take off points just for them throwing this one in and insulting me. But it's got some decent accessories that come with it. Overall, I'm going to give this figure a 7.1. Just too many shortcuts, too many shortcomings, and having the ball joint sticking up like this, they could have done a seamless body, or at least a seamless arm. because you have to roll up the sleeves of the jacket to be film accurate, so it's got to look like this. And I think you can't see the belt in the film. So, yeah, 7.1 I think is fair enough. Thanks for tuning in, guys. See you next time.